Thanks, Faith. Good to be here. Today I'm going to talk about how local businesses have better conversations with their customers and their prospective customers. Business is often won or lost in those conversations. So most of us here don't actually run small businesses, but we do work with them one way or another. I think that's probably why you're here. But certainly all of us have used local businesses, right? We have a mechanic, we have a vet, a dentist, a contractor, and so we've worked with them and we've seen, that these guys probably need help or they could use some better technology. And so we represent in that context their customers, modern consumers, this concept that I want to talk about today. And as modern consumers, we have high expectations for these business owners, and businesses need to meet those. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit today, talk about the expectations of modern consumers, and see what that means for service providers like us and how we could solve it. But first, I'm an engineer, so I figured, let's start with the code, right? We're going to code this up. We're going to solve this. Hello, there it is. Anyway, we're going to. Should I switch? Number 2. Okay, maybe this one will work better. Anyways, anyone recognize this? I see people getting a little bit scared, not sure, scared of the code. Anybody watch Westworld? Anybody? Just me? Yeah, quite a few. Okay, so this is the code that represents modern consumers. that was a screenshot from Westworld. They're in the show. These are the hosts, the robots actually. They're taking over, spoiler alert. So all modern consumers are just going to be robots in the future, right? I hope not, and I don't think so. We're people, we're human. We have needs. We're emotional, maybe. And so we're not robots. And businesses need to meet those expectations. They need to meet the demands of us humans. So, okay, get to the point, right? So, these expectations are high. Look at what Uber has done, right? You have an app, you have a phone, you click a button, a car shows up, you get in, takes you somewhere, you get out, you walk away. You don't even pay. I think they do. I think they charge my credit card, but you just walk away. I mean, do you guys remember when you have to negotiate in the back of the cab? Do you take credit cards or, what's the tip going to be? Today, you just walk away. Amazon, you can find anything you want. One click, it'll be on your door and a day later. The bar is high. Us consumers, we want, these are the things that we need. And in the local market, it's true too. This has to be solved. So why is this hard? Why is it hard for the little guy to keep up? Well, they have real work to do, right? It's messy. Not all of it's products. Many of it's services. There's someone has to show up to your house and do something, or your car, or whatever. It's dirty. So it happens in real life, or IRL for all you millennials out there. So it's hard. This is unsolved. So, I think you guys probably get it. You still want to get to the point. The world at one point did look like this. Some of us are still selling stuff that might look like this. Phones looked like that. Business happened like that. But it's not like this anymore. And some of the things that we do maybe, unfortunately, still look like this. So how do we be better? So I've got a couple more statements I want to make before I actually get to the solution. Phone calls are dead. A lot of you probably even still work around phone calls or to drive phone calls. But us consumers, us modern consumers, and you guys should be able to identify this, I don't want to call. I don't want to pick up the phone. That's the last thing I want to do. So why are we still working on this? And maybe this is an exaggeration. Maybe they're not dead. But you can certainly say that phone calls in this broader mix of messaging, text messaging, email, it's not the entry point anymore. It's not the first entry point. We will pick up the phone, but only when we have to. I think Twitter's all-knowing these days, so what does Twitter have to say about it? And obviously these are jokes, but this is not the experience that consumers want. We want something better, something easier. So there's a lot of talk about websites. I think there was a bunch earlier today about this. Do businesses need websites? Well, I think they're not dead. Businesses do need them. They need every opportunity they can to stand out, to look good, to rank, something that they can own. So they need this. But you know what? I think contact forms are dead. No one wants to fill that damn form out, right? No one does that out of their own free will, like fill in all these fields, right? Like, I don't want to do this. There's two cases here. If you're a new customer, like, kind of curious, I'm thinking about it, but I don't want to do all that. Filling all this out, that's a lot of work. Or often, you're actually not a new customer, you're an existing customer. Like, I just need to let you know, like, hey, what time are you coming tomorrow? Or, hey, I'll be home by noon. Or, I want to go with the blue one, or whatever it is. I'm not gonna use this to let you know that. So the website should be a messaging center for the business. Consumers want to get a hold of you, want to get a hold of that business. Whether they're a customer, not a customer yet, thinking about it, the website needs to make it obvious how to get in touch and make it easy. Something that they want. So it should be something more like this. This is the experience we want. If you already have a guy, I got a guy, it often just looks like this. Hey, I need this. Or can you come tomorrow? Or can I drop it off on my way to work or whatever. If you have a guy, it looks like this. And this is the experience we want. If we don't have a person, that's when we have to go online, we have to figure it out. But really, we do want it to look like this too. This is experience consumers want. And if we don't do it, if we as service providers to small businesses, to local businesses don't do it, guess what? Google will, Facebook will, Yelp will. We probably don't want that unless you work for one of those companies. And so it's on us to do this. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like, if I need something, what do? I go online, I Google it, I pick a couple of people. Here's 3 businesses that look good. The reviews look good. The website looks good. They're in the area or whatever. And then I just want to, like, hey, are you available tomorrow? That's the experience that we want. And so it's up to us to enable it. So, does this work? So, here's some of the stats that we've seen. If you turn a website into a messaging center, we get 3x the messages, 3x the activity, all sorts of things that the consumers want. From you left your hammer in the backyard till you're available tomorrow at 2, to all of the things start happening, and that's what you want. We haven't talked about reviews yet, but reviews are part of that same conversation. If you follow up, if you hold a good conversation, if you follow up at the end, you'll get 3 times the reviews as well. That's the playbook for local business today. Make it easy to get a hold of you, have a good conversation across multi-channel, omni-channel, and then get a review at the end. That is the cycle. So here broadly, we do 4 things. We build messaging apps for local businesses. We have web chat and chat bots, make it easy for consumers to get a hold of the business. We follow up for reviews at the end. And then we have direct integrations with dozens of service providers like yourselves, CRMs, management systems, point of sales, and other website providers. We're actively looking for partners, so if you're not providing tools like this to your customers, to your businesses, you should get in touch. And that's it from me.